Hey folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Monday, January 25th, 2010. Well, folks, we have a little bit of a bounce day on Wall Street today, which is exactly what we had expected based on the fact that you had a three-bar surge to the downside over the last week, plus some major trend lines were hit on all the major stocks. You can look at Exxon's chart, you can look at anything out there. You're going to see major trend lines were hit, telling us that there was a small bounce coming today. Now, right now on an intraday basis, we see that the Dow is higher by about 57 points, the Nasdaq up about 12, and the S&P 500 up 8 on the day. The big thing for today, folks, is the Apple earnings after the close. That is going to be a major player today after the bell in after-hours activities. So watch those earnings. It will dictate where tech goes tomorrow, no doubt about it. Let's take a quick look and see what Apple is doing right now. And as I bring up Apple, you can see Apple's just slowly floating up into earnings. And again, that's after a brutal sell-off on Friday and that major down move we had on Friday. You can see a nice float up on Apple, up just under $6 on the day. Now, what does the daily show? Let's kind of analyze the daily based for earnings and see if we can't dissect what is actually going on here. Now, there's a couple different things that I'm seeing in this chart technically. Number one, you have an attempt to recapture the 50 moving average here. See that 50 moving average right here? You're trying to get back above it. Watch to see where that closes, as a close below could tell us a sell-off is coming, while a close above maybe a little bit of a move up on earnings. It's going to be a very interesting earnings announcement based on the charts here. You have a near-term oversold on Apple, but long-term overbought. So again, which one's going to weigh out and which one's going to win in this situation? So again, watch Apple. If I had to take a stab, I would say there's a chance of a little bit of a sell-off on Apple, although not much, based on some things that I'm looking at. Generally, they're going to beat earnings. We know, everyone knows Apple's going to beat earnings. The question is by how much, and is that enough to keep the stock running higher? Now, let's go back to some of the other charts here, folks, as well. Let's take a look at the spiders again on an intraday basis. Let's go back to the intraday and dissect that. And what you can see here on the intraday spiders is that you actually have a little bit of an in-spirit of bull flag pattern forming. Now, I called out this earlier play. It was another in-spirit of bull flag, and that worked out beautifully. As you can see, I'm drawing it in right here. You had the gap up today and a sideways inside move. See, so inside the gap up, you had all these bars inside choppy sideways to lower action. That's a key technique for what you would recognize as an in-spirit of bull flag. Off of that, you can see the nice pop right back up. And since then, you've gone into another in-spirit of bull flag, sideways consolidation off this up move. And now all you have to do is get through this 50 moving average. If you can get through this 50 moving average, you should actually have a move up to new highs of the day and possibly as high as 110.50, 110.50 to 110.60 if we got through this 50 moving average into the afternoon trading. So right now, I continue to be on the slightly neutral to upside bias range. And again, that's exactly what I called for to my premium subscribers. For those of you that are Research Center or chat room guys, I alerted everyone to buy some KLAC on Friday, SMH, you name it out there, folks. JASO into the close, pick up that as well. That we took some good profits on already today. Took half the position off the table at 481 today from 457 close. Great moves on some of these stocks, knowing that the bounce was going to come. And all it is reading the odds, folks. Again, you looking at the market on Friday and saying, all right, well, what are the odds of a move up on Monday? And the odds to me were about 75% that we'd have a move up on Monday. That's pretty good odds, especially considering some of the major levels that were getting hit. For instance, taking a look at the SMH, which is having a great day today, what I saw on the daily, which pointed it out, and again, this is one of the alerts that went out in the Research Center in the hot charts and alerts. And by the way, if you don't have the hot charts and alerts, you need to get that. It's part of the Research Center. You get everything included in the Research Center when you get it. But I want to show you one thing here, folks. I'm going to just expand the chart, and I'll show you the connectors. But what I did on Friday, which I alerted, was to analyze here. And let's just bring this chart all the way over and look at this trend line. And again, I'll bring it into focus so you can all make use of it and understand the techniques that we utilize and some of them so you can kind of understand. But if you go back on the chart here on the daily and you take this pivot low going back to July 8th, connect that through the secondary pivot low right here and look at what happened on Friday. A no-brainer right there that you were going to get a bounce on the SMH. So the alert goes out to our premium subscribers in the Research Center, and they all are able to jump on board on that play. And then here they are sitting pretty with a nice little gain on their trade for the day. You know, I mean, that's all it is. It's a short-term swing trade, and again, utilized properly, can make you very, very much quite a bit of money. So again, that's just one trade. You can talk about some other trades out there. We also talked about KLAC. That's another nice little one. You can see Pierce the 200 getting a bounce today. No-brainer right there as well. JASO. Here's a great one as well. Here's a gap right here. There's a gap window that got tagged. Plus, you had the 200 as major support right below. The long went out on Friday afternoon. And sure enough, look at the jump today. About 5% move to the upside on JA Solar. Plus, a very extended oversold chart right there adds to the odds that you're going to make some money. Now, let's go back to the intraday SPY. I just wanted to give you guys a little test of the analysis that we put out on Friday to call for this bounce. Not only did we nail the top on this market on the full over, but then we went out on a limb, stuck our necks out again, as we always do, and called for the bounce on today. That, again, is happening. Now, again, the big question will be on Apple's earnings after the bell. What happens? In addition, you have the Federal Reserve FOMC policy statement on Wednesday. Wednesday night, you have the State of the Union address with Obama. There's going to be a lot of kind of news. Not only do you have earnings out there, but you have a lot of extracurricular news going to be out there to try and flush this market one way or the other. The question is which way it goes. We're projecting out what we're projecting to our premium members. If you want that information, if you want to make the money that our premium members are money, you got to join up to the research center and the chat room. All right, so again, watch this pattern here, folks, on an intraday basis. You can see sideways consolidation. We're hitting the 50 moving average. If you get through this, I think you could get as high as 110.50 today on the upside. Great bounce today. Spiders up 91 cents on the day, just off the highs of the day. Again, if you fall back down and can't get through this 50, you're going to see support at this pivot low right here at 109.50. And then if you get through that, you're going to look for gap fill at 109.20. That would be gap fill on the downside. But again, my projections continue to be the same. Going into today, I said 75% chance of a bounce. That's exactly what we're getting. I continue to have a neutral to upside bias at these levels, expecting a decent probability that the spiders will get through their 50 moving average here and move up a little bit more into the close. All right, after that, it's all off the table. All right, after that, that's where we have to start really analyzing and figuring out exactly where this market will go. Again, I'll give that to our premium members in the closing video tonight, which is also part of the Research Center, as well as the plays on the Pro Trader Watch List, hot charts and alerts, daily market report, and of course, everyone in the chat room will get it as well. All right, folks, that's all for today. Enjoy the rest of the day here. Market is, again, trading sideways on lighter volume on a nice little up day here over the last hour or two. And again, look for that move into the close and then Apple earnings after the bell. Take care.